Hi, I'm Clinton Carlson, and I'm an alumni of Youth for Tomorrow.
Clinton, when you come back to Youth for Tomorrow, what kind of emotions stir inside you? We'll talk about your personal story in a moment, but you're back on campus. How does it feel?
It's actually pretty surreal. It's really nice to actually be back and to feel back at home. Like even though I've been gone for 10 years, it still is home for me.
What brought you here originally?
Originally, I was just a very troubled youth. I had a lot that I personally was dealing with, and honestly, it took over my life, and so it was either here or jail or potentially being dead.
That's rough. What were your initial impressions when you came here? Were you reluctant? Might you have wanted to be someplace else? What were your memories of first arriving at Youth for Tomorrow?
I would say when I first arrived, I definitely wanted to be someplace else. I don't think, coming into a new place is anybody's first choice of, where they want to be per se. But it very quickly made me realize that this place is more than just a building. It's more than just what it is. Like I said, it's a home. And I definitely felt that pretty quickly upon coming to campus.
Test your memory a little bit. What happened to cause you to have that feeling? Were there any stories or just a look back to how you might have got that feeling after being here a short period of time?
I would say a big part of that would be both Dr. Tinsley and Duncan Jones. Duncan Jones was at the time one of my house parents, him and his wife, and so. But between the two of them, they were very quickly to make sure that I felt safe. And that was something I had never really felt before.
And when you were here, what about those gentlemen, and what about the actual campus? And this campus probably looks a little bit different now than when you came here first.
Very much so. There's a lot more buildings, that's for sure. I would say, for them specifically, it's the way that they never saw me as a problem. I was always, just somebody who was struggling. It was never, prior to coming to Youth for Tomorrow, I always felt like I was a problem, like I was just kind of a cast aside. And the two of them just kind of very quickly made sure that that was not how I felt, and made sure that, just the way they interacted with me, they made sure to always talk to me, and just to continuously support me, even if I did decide or end up doing something that wasn't the best choice, or, I was still a youth, I still made mistakes, I still do make mistakes. But the two of them, they just very cohesively made sure that, like, I felt supported through everything I did.
That obviously is something that might have been missing prior to coming to Youth for Tomorrow. Anything else that might have been missing in your life before you came here? We'll talk about what you're doing now, which is very impressive, but what was missing for you?
For me, I would say the biggest thing that was missing was just that love and support. I had my mom in my life still then, but that was kind of all I had. I never had any male figures at all. Growing up, my father had never really been in my life since I was probably 2 or 3. And so the two of them kind of stepped in and filled that role for me in a way that I just never realized I needed.
Where are you from?
I'm from Front Royal, Virginia. I had to think about that for a second.
So this wasn't that much of a geographical change for you at the time, was it?
I would say no. Honestly, it's close enough to home that like I kind of felt comfortable here, but also far enough away from home that I was also safe from being at home.
What were your thoughts as you were ready to depart? Some of the folks we've talked to said they really didn't understand what Youth for Tomorrow meant to them until they departed. Sounds to me like you know what this was about when you were here as a student, but as you prepare to leave, what thoughts went through your mind?
I would say that I knew what Youth for Tomorrow meant to me then, but I didn't embrace it. And that part of that came with growing and understanding. Until I went to college immediately after leaving YFT, I didn't realize like how much YFT had been supporting me. And then to sort of feel, even though they were still there, from a distance, I didn't realize how much I needed that support. And so it was definitely challenging when I first left. And so basically when I left, I just kind of felt lost for a little bit. And then that's what helped me realize how much YFT was.
Tell us about what the last few years have been like for you. You've been on the education trail.
I have. It's definitely been an uphill battle. So I left YFT in 2011. I started at George Mason. I left about a year into that. Basically, I went back home with my mom, took care of her. She unfortunately passed away in 2015. And so that was a rocky start, back then. And so, but one of her, dying wishes and one of my ultimate goals was for me to complete college. And so that's kind of what's been my driving force since then. But I wouldn't have been able to do that without YFT support. So I worked with back then Vernell Wilkes, and then now Gene Jones to make sure I got back into school, and then just make sure that I'm continuously moving forward. And so finally, I'm in my last semester and a half. I'll have 3 credits after this coming, semester, so that I'm finally getting there. And so that's both exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, because it's like, then what?
It's true. I mean, you got to start looking for a job, I guess. You can't be a student forever. But when you think about what this meant to you looking back, what do you think it meant to you? Because now you're there removed from here for quite a few years, and you found your way. It's taken a couple of years to get through school, but you're going to do it. And then the real work begins, I guess. But when you think back, what did this place mean to you?
Just honestly, everything. It answered both, everything I needed and everything I didn't know I wanted. That's what yeah, everything I needed and everything I didn't know that I wanted. It's the support. I can call Dr. Jones if I'm struggling, and, he's very willingly is like, okay, well, let's see what we can do to help you. It's never, no, there's nothing we can do, deal with it yourself. And that you don't find that anywhere else.
A lot of success stories from the time you were here, and you took a look at some of the pictures I had. And how impressive is that to you that a group of kids like yourselves have moved on and become successes despite some of the troubles you had in your background?
I would say for me, it's the word I want to say is exciting, but that's not the right word. It's very heart-filling to see that I know my personal experience, but to see other people and to see that they're all still thriving and that they're all still moving forward, that shows the legacy of this place. Like I said, you can go to, anywhere and you can find something, but you usually don't see this great of an outcome. And, that shows the dedication that the staff have, that, the leaders have, and just the dedication, to enriching us.
There's a pride factor, I think, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
And when you look around and you see these other buildings here, and you know that you might not know, you probably do since you're connected here, that there's satellite offices providing help to people in need. A lot has grown since you were here, sir.
So actually, I did not know that. I just stepping onto campus and seeing the expansion was surprising enough. So the fact that they're now at other locations that's actually really awesome. That just means that there's that many more people that can actually get support that they need in their lives.
The word hope has come up a lot in some of my discussions with some of the alums. How does that figure into your story?
I would say that I don't know I would have had hope like that. I feel like I would have given up. And so from that regard, I would say that hope has definitely been sort of a light that kind of pushes me forward. And YFT is a huge part of that. It makes me feel less scared. Like, yes, I'm graduating this year, for example, but knowing that YFT is still here, and that I can, even if I just use them to bounce ideas off of or to call, when I'm not sure where to turn, I know that they're here.